Pendragon Castle in the Mallerstang Dale. It is said that it was rebuilt by Uther Pendragon, the father of King Arthur. Later it was rebuilt again by Yorkshire landowner Lady Anne Clifford. John Bucknall has inherited the castle from his cousins Raven and Juliet Frankland.
This is probably a drumlin, a remnant of the last Ice Age, and it was used probably in the Iron Age as a settlement, and then enhanced by the building of a Norman castle, probably in wood initially. The legend of King Uther, if he had been here, that would have been a long time ago, and perhaps a wooden castle rather than a stone one. And this stone castle that you now see, with the Royal Air Force flying over the top of us, this castle was built in about 1200 AD, and it was plastered and decorated white on the outside, so it stood out white in the dale. It was a house to be enjoyed for parties, for hunting, for great feasts. Only rarely was it used as a defensive castle, and several times it was burnt by marauding Scots. This is the entrance here, and when the castle this entrance was excavated in the 1970s, they found a fragment of the stone which was set above the door, telling you in the most beautiful lettering that Anne, the Countess, repaired the castle. And then either side were discovered the portcullis slots and the great hole for the great bolt. We're now standing on the first floor of the castle, the Piano Nobile, the noble level of the Great Hall and the Solar. I'm standing at the high end of the Great Hall, and from this high end, Lady Anne, having sat at the head of her table, would have walked into her Solar behind me. In the middle of the castle would have been a great chimney for the fireplaces and for the cooking from the ground floor. The family lived primarily on the first floor, while the soldiers lived mainly at the ground level, and they had their bedrooms up in the roof. There was another story above this one. The floors were of wood with big beams and probably painted planks above them, ceilings, painted wooden ceilings like you see in Scottish castles. And the walls would have been plastered. There would have been big wide oak and elm boarded floors, not a great deal of furniture, but these would have been handsome rooms and with handsome furniture. In the opening of the entrance you'll see the portcullis slot and the holes for the great bar, the bolt, which secured the doors on the inside. Either side there are newel stairs, the one on my left for the master of the castle, or in Lady Anne's time she would have used that stair, and then important visitors would have used the right hand stair. What we're looking at now is the vault over Lady Anne's bedchamber, and there are vaults like this in each corner of the castle. They're called mural chambers because each side of the wall is the castle wall, immensely thick, about 12 feet wide. And then the Norman builders in about 1200 built a vault on formwork, just like we build concrete structures today. And in parts of the castle you can still see the lines of the formwork, And then when the formwork was taken down, the surfaces were plastered. And what you're looking at here is the original plaster of Lady Anne's chamber. It's quite smooth plaster and would have made a very beautiful interior, all decorated with lime wash. The floor would have had either cobble or it would have had tiled floors, and the surface would have been very smooth and beautiful. And then she would have had a few items of furniture, a bed and a chest. That is probably about all, perhaps somewhere for her clothes, but she'd be waited upon by her servants. She'd have her books perhaps, and one or two things, perhaps somewhere to write a letter or two. She wrote every day her diary, and she wrote every day her letters. She would have stayed here for about a month on each visit. She would be brought here by the 500 people of the Mallerstang parish, and when she left on her way to her castle at Brough, that she would have been met at the boundary in Kirkby Stephen by 500 people from the area of Brough.